Welcome back, spooky friends, to another exciting episode of Sir Henry's Haunted Podcast. I am your host, Zach, and back as always, our executive producer, not sure what that means anymore, Calvin.
I just keep showing up, and that's all it is.
That'll earn you a title. So, been a few weeks, we know, but we have been busy. I'm sure a lot of you have seen. If you haven't seen, make sure you're following all of our social media pages, including our Reawaken TikTok.
Yeah.
We got some fun content on there. We dabbled a little bit in doing like updates and serious stuff, but we didn't like that. I don't think you guys really cared for it. You come and see an update, you come watch the podcast. So we do random funny bits on you, or not YouTube.
TikTok.
This is YouTube. TikTok. So go check that out, and you'll kind of pseudo see an update within all that as well, I guess.
It's Sir Henry's Haunt is the handle.
Sir Henry's Haunt is the handle.
Mm-hmm.
You can find our viral video of the Pumpkinwoods from last year. We're at 90K.
Yep.
It's a big deal.
Might be 91 on, but no,
91. Let's just call it 100.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
just call it
150.
So by the time you're watching this episode, podcast,
We have moved
listening, we have
It's over.
Well, we're obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, we're both in hoodies, as you can tell. It's freezing down here in Florida.
Yes.
Actually, it's opposite of freezing. It's burning up.
It's 67
We're just
degrees.
trying to get our mindset ready for the fall and all the epicness and coldness that is to come. We're, as some say, projecting cold weather.
Are they actually?
No, I am.
Oh, yeah, Weatherman Zach. That's actually...
It's
That's
an
a
actual
TikTok
thing,
bit.
and it's more accurate than the people you watch on TV. So find my YouTube channel at Zach the Weatherman OG. That's the handle.
He told me he was going to hail the other day, so keep that in
That
mind.
part was a bit over text. It didn't translate. Anyway, by the time you're watching this, listening to this, all of our haunted houses and trails, whatever we have here, with the exception of some escape games, extra stuff, has been announced.
Yeah.
All the things on the previous podcast where we've been hinting and can't talk about, well, now we can. And that is why we are here today to update you guys on all this stuff. So let's dive in. Let's start with a softball. The haunted hayride.
Yeah.
And go.
It's back,
It's back.
obviously. We've added essentially 2 new scenes, reworked an entire scene.
Everything got reworked.
But I'm saying, even, like, the whole, like, mechanics of this scene are completely different, too.
Talking about the finale?
Yes.
Yeah, so Dracula, let's start from the beginning. We added a scene right when you're pulling off. It's kind of the setup scene. We started that, and we made it a whole scene. Although we did kind of transition that from another area, you'll see.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
But it's more of a scene now than just a transition area, I guess you can say. It's a mood vibe setting. I don't know.
Yeah. And then you go...
And then last year, if you remember, you come to, or have watched the videos, you'll come to the shack in the woods. That's Beatrice's shack. There is a new entity there, and that is kind of our face of the season, if you will.
Yep.
We've talked about Fear Unleashed. The graphic will now officially be out very soon. I just showed you the graphic. It's pretty sick.
It is pretty gnarly.
So this new entity being... In fact, just because you're tuning in, let's put the picture up on the screen. Why not?
Picture right here.
Picture on the screen. This is our new villain, if you want to call it that, for 2024. It's our tree creatures, our working title.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he has a name. I can't remember the name. Erica probably knows what the name is because she suggested something that I liked.
It's on the tip.
Was it like
it'll come to me
sap or branchy or something? No, I don't know.
I don't know. It'll come to me later.
It was something cool though. So this is kind of what is the driving force behind the hayride, and then everything else, as in he will have 2 key pieces in the common area with this character.
Yeah.
2 very cool key pieces. So yeah, so he's gonna take over Beatrice Shack in the Woods. That scene gets a little reworked. We're kind of also changing up on the whole thing, how the audio is with the storytelling, and then with once you get to the scene,
Yeah.
it's gonna feel darker per se because everything's very dark this year, is theme wise, not lighting wise. Um, so you'll see, but we have reworked that. But we didn't take away, I don't think, any of the nostalgic aspects or the creativity or over the top things that people really loved about the Hayride last year.
Of course. It's still super theatric and
We didn't
over the
tear
top.
down the scenes or anything.
Yeah,
like
nothing
that.
has like everything you liked is still there.
We just added to it.
We've just added to it. Exactly.
So then you go through the trick or treat village, and in there will be the baseline the same, but there's a new twist.
Yeah, a couple
new
effects.
a couple new effects, new big startle scare in that scene, and the dialogue, not just this scene, but every scene will be a little more dynamic.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's another thing to look forward to. And then you have the barn, but there's kind of a pre-barn scene this year.
Yeah.
A whole setup to the barn, which a lot of you really like, just because probably there was so much going on with that, so many special effects in
There's
there.
even more.
There's even more this year. Yeah, there's more. And a couple new characters, new staple characters for the barn. One we're really excited about.
Yes, I'm so excited for it. Mike.
Dun, 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 dun,
But
Really
yeah,
excited
so
for that.
it's exactly what it is. There's a whole scene outside of the barn before you even get in the barn with its own effects, its own dialogue and everything. And then you go into the barn and it's a whole big ordeal, as always.
Yeah, we kind of polished it off. We accentuated what was there and added one really big, cool effect that we're really excited about.
It might be the coolest thing I've made. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, let's go. So, yeah, you're not going to be safe. So that was one of the things. Real quick side note, with doing the hayride, it's not like a trail where we're this close and I go and I scare you. You're on a hayride. Your head's like 5-6 foot in the air. You're in a wagon. You feel kind of safe. You feel protected. You're sitting kind of in the middle at times, depending where you sit. It's different to scare, and we learned that.
You quickly.
And it's very difficult to scare.
It's so hard.
One of the stupidest things I do as Sir Henry in the trails is I'll go hide in some random spot and just go "Rah!" in people's face with my hand, and it drops them to their knees every time. I don't care who it is. A grown man, woman, child, whatever, to their knees. You can't do that on a hayride. It does not work. So we had to get creative last year, and we took that knowledge that we had learned and put it into this season and everything we designed for the hayride. What was the one big thing we did?
Well, we're trying the way that you sit on the trailer is going to be completely different now.
Yeah, so
that's
we're adding benches.
Yeah, okay.
To the wagons. You won't have the hay. I know there's no hay on a hayride. That's not what makes it the hayride. Okay, I mean, it'll be okay. You're still going to be the great hayride. Just trust us on this. Okay? You won't be sitting on a falling bale of hay, whatever. We can put some scattered hay on the ground, sure, whatever.
I still have hay in the bed of my truck a year later from having to haul. We bought so many hay bales.
Yeah,
every week,
would
every
only
day.
last really a night or two at most. So it's gonna be better for everybody. It'll be better for the riding experience, and you won't be falling off this and the other. So yeah, we changed that too, but the height and the elevation.
So that's what I was gonna say. You didn't. Yeah, that's what makes you feel safe is because you're so much taller than us, right? Your shoulders are above our heads. We have kind of removed that safety blanket Key characters.
We've brought the actors.
Yeah,
up.
the key characters are now going to be eye level, if not taller than you, and still being able to be this close, like in a trail, which is super. I'm super excited for that. And the benches themselves lend you to be closer to the action as well, too.
Yes, the benches are about the same spec as same specifications as the hay bales were.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so it'll feel the same viewpoint, everything else. You're not going to be too high or anything like that. But yeah, and even with the actors at their scares too, it's more cohesive and immersive, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's literally we figured it a way to get in your face.
Enhanced, yeah.
On the hayride.
So going back to after the barn is one of our new scenes.
Right after the barn, not the barn.
Yeah. If you remember last year, it was the 3 reapers and the 4 headstones. Now we basically put a bayou scene there. That we took a lot of elements out of Trail 3 when we tore that down and put it back there because it's nostalgia and it looks cool. And frankly, it looks, really cool back there.
It does. It fits perfect.
It fits perfectly. That area was made for this scene, 100%. So it's going to be kind of like a little voodoo thing, and there's a really cool lighting effect that's going to happen. Looking at you, Elijah. So we're excited about that, and then of course the pumpkin woods. That was a classic.
Yeah. Well, besides the finale, this has probably the most upgrades.
The Pumpkin Woods has the most upgrade.
Yeah.
We added a lot of different elements. The creatures got updates. Everything got an update here. We added more pumpkins. It's more dimensional.
Crazy.
Probably 80% more pumpkins.
Probably.
Yeah. Maybe 100% more pumpkins.
So this scene was so pretty. This was our ooh and ah scene. But we do pretty stuff, but we also want to scare you. So we've kind of reworked this to still be able to scare you in such a gorgeous, pretty scene.
Yeah,
which I'm excited for.
There's at least 3 more scare opportunities.
Yeah,
in this area now. And then you go to the finale, which Calvin said earlier had been completely reworked, and it has. We're adding animatronics to this scene. We basically took down that catwalk that was there.
Yep.
That Dracula was there, and there's something new up there now. You'll see. And it's gonna feel like a finale because if you guys remember or watched or listened, we spoke about how we were very proud of what we accomplished, but one of the things that we wanted to do better this year was make the finale feel more like a finale.
Yeah.
On the hayride, and I think through lighting, looking at you, Elijah, and you,
yeah, of course.
And what we've done here, we've achieved it. The big the bungee scare that was there, we've moved that. That's on another area of the hayride.
That's how confident we are in this finale.
You'll have to figure out where that is, but it's gonna be great. It's still Legends of Halloween because it kind of goes through all of our old legends. I just got a crazy cool idea for a new scene on the hayride. Oh my god!
Write it down.
Hang on, let me write that down. That's really cool.
A lot of what we've been talking about with the changes in the audio and the dialogue and stuff is going to help the finale in particular too, because that was, I think, my biggest gripe was the audio itself didn't feel as big as everything else in there.
Well, it all ties together.
Yeah.
You could have the right audio, which everything is right on the hayride except that little scene, with the right lighting.
Ooh, doggy.
Now to talk about Trail 3.
Moving on.
No, so we're excited for the hayride. It's going to be better. It's going to be epic. It's going to be more scary. Be about the same length.
Brand new tractors and trailers.
Actually, it might be a little longer. Yeah, we have a new flagship trailer now, so we'll be able to maximize throughput for a better guest experience without sacrificing quality or length, so to speak, of the hayride. So
I'm so excited. I love the hayride.
It's gonna be great. It's so fun, and as we saw on one of our TikToks, the only one in the state of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you can go to your other things, and you're gonna have fun, sure. But one of the things we pride ourselves on here is creating trails and houses, whatever you want to call them, with very unique themes.
Which we will get into very shortly.
Very unique themes. We don't do run-of-the-mill themes. And even something that may seem run-of-the-mill, we put our own spin on it. As you guys know, I love history. If you don't know, now I do. A lot of our stuff is very historically influenced because I think that it's such a cool opportunity for art. I could go on a tangent, but alas. But speaking of history, it's a perfect transition. Trail 3. We released this, I believe. What?
You don't expect me to do this math.
Do what?
Oh, I thought you were looking at me to tell you how long ago we released. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
We released this into May, whatever. So it's been 7 weeks, whatever. We're just now talking about it, whatever. Agua de Muerte. It's the best I can give you. I'm sure we are going. I have to get my wife out here. She's Puerto Rican, but Agua de Muerte. I probably should start a thing for the shout out or the jar for that.
Muerte.
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 There's like a W in there or something. Anyway, before we butcher that enough,
Agua de Muerte.
This trail. A lot of you guys ask, well, how do you come up with the ideas, the vision, all this, that, and the other? We was in St. Augustine, me and my wife, about a year ago, literally exactly a year ago. And we were doing a ghost tour, and I heard a couple ghost stories, and this idea just popped into my head for this theme. And we kind of talked about the theme, and then we narrowed down the story, and I
kind of talked about this theme. It's crazy.
We spent a lot of time.
A long
I went
time.
back. It was like a ping pong tennis match, back and forth, because what we were talking about doing and ultimately ended up doing was very specific set-wise, in that I didn't want to create something to where we also didn't have flexibility, knowing how I am, to change and alter themes for different events or even Halloween events going forward. I didn't want to be married to something. And that was really the big...
That was the big argument.
We went through a lot.
It was that versus...
We're not going to say what it was. We're not going to give away the other options because those options will get done at another time.
No. I'm saying the argument was, do I want to marry myself to these sets, or do I want to do the coolest theme idea we've come up with in forever?
It's the most unique.
Yeah.
Coolest, probably, after seeing some of the sets.
So that was what we were toying
So
with.
what is Agua de Muerte? Basically, it's Spanish conquistadors looking for the fountain of youth, but instead they have found the fountain of death, and it slowly decays their body and kills them. And they become eternal corpses, I guess you could say. So it's a very colorful way to not say zombie.
I like
we
that,
don't
though.
do zombies here. That's...
what'd you say? Lifelong undead? What'd you say?
Eternal corpses. Eternal corpses.
That's hard.
It is hard. That's a band name. Yeah. There you go. So make sure you like Eternal Corpses band page.
Yeah, demo's coming out soon.
No, but that's a story. That's a plot. Very unique. I've never seen this done in a haunted house setting before.
Well, so let's explain the elephant in the room, the P word.
Oh yes. Okay.
So what's the difference?
Well, okay. So allow me. We haven't heard the P word yet.
We have not. So we speak it out into existence. Sure, we let it die.
We'll touch on it. Because if you we'll just touch on it, and then if somebody says it, go to refer to the podcast.
Yeah.
This is not pirates. This is not pirates. You may be asking, What do you mean? I thought, Fountain of Youth, that was pirates. Johnny Depp, Jack Sparrow, Pirates of the Caribbean 4. Okay, yes. But it's important to note that just because you were a seafaring soldier in the 1700s did not classify you as a pirate.
The difference is
A pirate is an outlaw, a criminal. These are not criminals.
Jack Sparrow, specifically Pirates of the Caribbean 4, Jack Sparrow versus the guy that destroyed the Fountain of Youth at the end. That is
a
the
group of
difference.
pirates, Jack Sparrow, Blackbeard, in this movie particular. Very little influence here. You had the Spanish government, essentially, and the English government, countries, whatever, looking for the Fountain of Youth in this movie.
Yes.
So the pirates do not represent... Pirates are not everywhere. It's not a blanket term. So, one, I want to thank all our people who have been out there and pushing and commenting on this for not using the P word pirates, because it's not.
Yes, this is kind of a rant, but it's also to like set your expectations, because there's no Yarhars and
No,
nothing like that. No Jolly Rogers.
This is dark.
Yes,
There is no pirate ship. There are no Jolly Rogers. No Yo-Ho Shiver Me Timbers. And I think Pirates of the Caribbean, we gotta blame them a little bit, even though I'm a huge fan of the series franchise.
I watched all 4 of them before we built this.
Because they kind of muddled a lot of these lines for historical context.
Yeah, pirates were brutal.
Oh, no, yes. 100% brutal. And that's what I wanted to do, something very brutal.
Yeah.
But these are Spanish conquistadors. And here they are. They've stumbled upon this Fountain of Youth, so they think. But it's been cursed by ancient natives to basically say, ha, sucker, we got you.
To protect it.
Yeah. Because they had a little foresight of the greed and lust that would come over looking for said Fountain of Youth.
Well, so since we're talking about this, do you want to tell the story of what sparked this, like the governor's house?
Oh yeah, so we were on a ghost tour in St. Augustine, and they were talking about it. It's so pirate related, but anyway, whatever. They were talking about in like 1703, I believe. Pirates raided the city of St. Augustine, burnt it to a ground, like burnt everything to the ground, mostly, and basically like the townspeople locked themselves into the governor's house. The pirates broke into the governor's house and brutally slaughtered every last person in the governor's house. And they raided and plundered the village and left. Like, that's pirates. Brutal.
Yeah.
Dark.
And
gruesome.
That is what
Graphic.
we're emulating. Not piles of jewelry and yard
You're not going to see treasures. You're not going to see rum drinking skeletons. They'll be drinking, but it'll be death water.
Liquid death. We are on one today.
Stop. It's 7 months of working together, so this will happen. So let's talk a little bit about... So that's kind of the story. No pirates. Don't ever say pirates. The trail layout. We knocked down this entire trail. And if you remember from the past couple of years, this was our... I was going to say Captain's Ahoy trail. This is our Captain's Fury, Rapture the Deep. Last year it was the Voodoo Swamp thing. We knocked all that down. There's no more boardwalk. There's no fish shack hut thing. It's all gone. All that stuff was a pile of garbage that we basically put a facade over, but the time was perfect to knock that down, to burn it to the ground, because it was rubbish at best. And so now we have had this huge blank canvas to do exactly what we wanted to do with this aggressive vision and ambitious vision, and that's what we did. We wanted the big staple to be this fort. If you've been to St. Augustine or you've been to Puerto Rico, they have these Spanish-style forts that the Spanish built. With the texture and out of coquina and everything else. And that is pretty much what we emulated to a T.
Almost to scale.
Yeah, I have to look at the measurements, but I would wager to say that this fort is probably around a quarter to a third scale of what St. Augustine is. Maybe closer to a third. I'm that confident in it.
It's
big.
Yeah.
Big. But our very small build team, and for those of you out there who don't know, it's very small build team. There's like four or five people max. We do all the work. Mainly me and Calvin are 50% of that team, basically, almost. But we got Mark, Carlos, Chris was helping out a lot. Now we got Clayton out there helping a lot, and then Keegan's our resident
something scenic guy, I guess.
everything. He's prop making. He's
just another artist.
He's an artist. He's another artist. At the end of the day, he's an artist. He's a very good artist too. When he's here,
That's crazy.
So we have a very small team, and I am extremely proud of what our team was able to do, because when you go and you're in front of this fort, and it's got the little spires, the lookout towers on the side, rotundas on the side, that are basically identical to what's on these other Spanish forts, and you go over this moat.
We built a moat
bridge. We built a moat with a bridge that moves over water, real water. And then you go into the fort, and it's this whole maze of everything. It's mind blowing. But the real mind blowing part is the finale scene.
Well, I was gonna say the biggest mind blowing part is it's done. It's not the build of it is 90% done already. Like, we were just so excited to get in there and just.
We started early. We started very early in March. But without giving too much away, you'll be able to see bits and pieces of it in the trailers. But this finale is the fountain room. We have like what we call a fake fountain room, and then we have the fountain room. And it's like you bust through the walls of the fort. It's like in a hideaway spot in the fort. And you kind of low, the ceiling's kind of falling down, and you come out, and it's the biggest room in the fort height wise. And on either side, the walls are covered in skulls. Right, there's probably 300 and plus skulls in this room alone, and water is flowing down on each side of this skull wall into this well, basically trough, and that is the Fountain of Youth. And then at the end, you have a giant 12-foot skull that emulates the deity character on this trail. And that's
I like how you said without giving too much away, and then describe the entire room.
That's the scenic in the room.
That's the
not the scares.
Yeah. Yes.
That's just the visual I want you guys to have in mind going forward when you're getting ready to go in this room. The scares are going to be something else. We've installed something in that room. We're excited about that, to use it to a certain degree. Plus, all the lighting is going to be a scare in itself in there, the way that's going to interact.
It's the coolest thing.
So we're really excited about it. We've also built a Spanish missionary, which is basically like a church.
Yeah, that was like the one thing. You're like, if we do this, I have to do this.
Yeah, that was I'm doing this. The fort was whatever I wanted to do, but I didn't know. But the Spanish missionary, I had seen a picture, and I'm like, I want to build that. We did, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yep.
I think it's really cool.
The Alamo.
It looked, I tell you what, in those video shoots and stuff we did, it looked really good. Like, the thing photographs really well.
Yeah.
Really well.
That was also, like, very much a trust the process build. Like, it did not look good until it was done. You know what I mean?
I thought it looked great.
Well, but like, from when it was just built versus now, it's two different things.
Isn't that with everything?
Nah, I feel like this had a bigger transformation than the fort facade.
I don't know.
It looks great.
I don't know. But then, yeah, we have like a bunch of little like other buildings for the town and stuff like that. So, yeah, talking about some of these characters, we have our captain.
Yep.
We have our first mate.
Mm-hmm.
heavy Spanish influence here, Spanish speaking.
Yep.
We have our ephemeral doctor, our main deity, our fountain ghost, which there's like 2 fountain ghosts.
A Grand Inquisitor. Priest. Whatever
We
you
have our
call
priest.
them.
Basically, once the teaser drops, you'll be able to see all these characters. Really cool characters. Really
They're pretty cool.
characters. So
They're
like,
pretty cool.
I went out on a limb with some of these characters. As normally not like my style or something I would do for these. But yeah.
It's so cool. We're editing like the trailers and stuff now, and it's looking great.
It's okay. It's okay. Any other final thoughts on Trail 3 that we can kind of touch base on?
Well, like, we did a lot of research on this.
We did a lot. We went to St. Augustine. Me, Calvin, and Keegan went to St. Augustine one day.
So, yeah, you got the inspiration for it at St. Augustine. Then we went back, did the ghost tour again, toured the fort, took way too many pictures.
How beneficial was that for you seeing that? I've seen it 1,000 times.
Okay, for this guy. Big.
I'm just saying, like, I
St.
can't
Augustine
comment on it. But
No, it was great.
going up, seeing it, and then immediately after starting the build.
Well, for me, it wasn't the fort so much as if it was like just the culture and the stories of it all, and the history. Because like I was watching like documentaries about the hospital and stuff in St. Augustine for no reason, but it helped. It's really cool. Then you just get to feel the vibe and just how crazy the times were back then. But because I've been to a fort. I went to Spanish Fort in Mobile when I lived up there. Well, yeah, crazy name, very original. But no, the fort was cool. But I think for me it was like the culture and the history and the building architecture was a lot. Yeah.
Our one license legitimate fun fact of the day. Do you know what it is? Because I do.
You do?
Yes, I do. So, talking about wrapping up Agua de Muerte. Fun fact, Erica is the trail manager for this trail. This is not the fun fact, but Erica grew up a couple houses down from me in my parents' neighborhood, so she basically grew up seeing the birth of the Sir Henry's displays at my parents' house. But that's not the fun fact. The fun fact is Erica actually went to college in St. Augustine at Flagler College.
I didn't know she went to Flagler.
Yes.
Oh.
For 4 years or whatever it was. So, and she also did reenactments up there. So I believe we have placed the perfect person,
hands.
literally, to manage this trail. Because that is what attention to detail we give things.
I remember.
We're going to put the person who spent 4 years in St. Augustine managing a trail.
We when we first started talking about this, had like our opening of the year meeting, and I would like throw ideas out there. It was always Erica would be like, "Nah, not accurate. Can't do it." And every idea, I was like,
this guy was throwing out some crazy stuff. Heart palpitations. God.
And then now I get it. Now,
Yeah, you
that
get it
was
now.
Pre-research Calvin. Now I'm educated, and
He's educated.
I've been to St. Augustine twice since then.
He's an honorary St. Augustine history degree.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Printed it off offline.
YouTube University. Enroll now.
So we're excited about Hayride, Trail 3. Next podcast episode, we're going to be diving into Trail 1 and 2. Those are things that have been announced, but you got to tune in to see what they are. I'm not going to say it right now. Also going on is our first ever Sir Henry, or will have been completed probably this week whenever this airs. Our first ever Sir Henry summer camp.
I'm so excited.
Well, we haven't talked about this. This is something we've been planning for the better part of, say, 7-8 months. But this is us as a team, as a Sir Henry family, wanting to pour back into the youth of our community to give them opportunities to learn the aspects of building a haunted house. So this is our first time ever doing it. Hopefully everything goes well. We had a lot of interest, and this is something we want to continue to build upon each year in the summertime, a week long, offering kids and youth an opportunity for a creative summer camp. I mean, there's plenty of sports and dance and swimming, all this stuff. But one of the things, I, being the rando weird art kid growing up, I liked all this stuff.
Growing up?
Still am.
There you go.
But so, I was fortunate enough, along with Josh, who you've seen here on the podcast, where we did basically special effects art classes in the summer that was offered by the Lakeland Museum. And that's where a lot of our know-how and passion for this stuff was fostered. I mean, we did everything from like computer animation to makeup special effects to drawing to sculpting to casting our face. I have a face cast of my face somewhere. Josh basically did of me.
That's cool.
So that is kind of the whole inspiration for it.
At 20-something years old, this is my first ever summer camp.
It's gonna be fun. We got a couple of cool friends of ours coming. Byron Saxton, Jason Thomas. Elijah's gonna be talking about lighting and sound and all that good stuff. And then me and you will be bouncing around with set design and costuming. And then we have what I'm excited about is we have a lot of our Sir Henry people. Being like camp counselors and that kind of thing. And I'm looking forward to them to interacting with the teams we will have.
Well, so like this, you're putting a bunch of passionate people in a room and having them talk about their passions to young kids that could be passionate about this and don't know. So that's what I'm most excited for, is just being able to like maybe spark something in these kids. Because if I had something like this when I was their age, dude. But
sign me up. And I want to make sure we do it justice. And I hope we did. I hope we will. Again, this is the first season. There's going to be
that's what I'm saying. Like, this is after, so we can talk about what we did. But yeah, it's good. We have activities for them. They'll get, take home stuff. They're actually like throughout the week designing their own haunted attraction.
Yeah, so that's kind of the overlap. Yeah, they'll be learning about the individual aspects, so costuming, lighting, all that stuff. But they'll be broken into teams, and their team will be basically designing a haunted house. It'll have a name. They'll design the scares, and they'll have to have all the elements, and they'll give a presentation at the end of the class. And I think that's really cool.
I'm so excited.
Very cool.
I'm so excited. I'm working on the PowerPoint right now.
So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you tune into the next episode of Sir Henry's Haunted Podcast, where we'll be diving in, like I said, to Trail 1 and 2.
There you go.
This was 3 and Hayride.
3 and 4.
3 and Hayride. And of course, as the season gets closer, we'll be doing more podcasts, updating you on all aspects of the event, and hopefully have some more interesting guests on.
Yeah.
All right. So until next time. What's our catchphrase?
I don't know. You say something, and I always go, sayonara.
Stay spooky.
There it is. Sayonara.